This video and its contents are for adult collectors.
Hello and welcome back to Bots Obsession, the only Transformers channel where I have just taken a shower. So, I got this guy. This is Prime Changer's Sentinel Prime. I picked this guy up a little while back, a couple days ago. I live streamed opening him, and it's a pretty cool little figure. It's not a deluxe class. They're not calling it deluxe class, but it does feel sort of deluxe. It's a little bit shorter, but it's honestly pretty good. The quality of the plastic feels better than most mainline stuff, and on it, the transformation feels better. Like, this is some top quality mainline Transformer action here, and it makes me excited for the inevitable studio series of this, which I hope is a little bit bigger, because my only qualm with this is I wish he was a little bit taller. Let's look at Sentinel Prime though. He has some nice silver paint on the windows there, black cockpit at the front, some cool little blaster cannons there, a little shield piece back here, orange and blue with hits of black, so very animated or G1 colors, little gappy over here at the back. On the underside you can kind of see what's going on, typical jet former, but I do really like what's going on here. The arms are really outstretched and folded over with some exclusive panels, and there's some stuff hidden away, and they combine with the shoulders to form this really long front section. And the wings are forward swept, which is really nice. We don't see that very often in Transformers. I would like to point out a couple things about this guy before we get into transformation. He does have sort of a flight port. It's really shallow, but you can take a stand and put it in there, and he is fairly balanced back there, so that's pretty nice. As well, he is also blast effect compatible. Grabbing one of my blast effects here, you can actually mount this on the laser blasters here, and it totally fits. It's totally sized for that, so that's really interesting. I don't think there's been any mainline stuff that actually is blast effect compatible so far, so that's pretty neat to see. With that said, let's get into size comparisons. Reveal the shield jazz, a little bit shorter. Legacy crankcase, Legacy Goldbug, and Machine Wars hoist. So there he is. He's about maybe a little longer than Reveal the Shield Jazz. He's actually fairly long if we stick them up next to each other. Yeah, so fairly long, but not a giant vehicle mode. Not too major there. Let's get into transformation, which I do like, and it is nice and simple. Only one piece of parts forming. You just remove the shield, but it is one of those pieces where it's like, oh, if you lose it, it still looks fine. Fold in the wings. Oops. Fold in the wings, fold up the wings, bring the legs out. You just want to separate them there, bring them out, fold out the foot, and fold in this section. Fold them out, fold down the foot, and fold in that section. Rotate them so that way these kneecaps line up with those black stripes. Pull this out and just kind of leave it hanging over here. Split the nose cone and bring them down. Rotate the shoulders. Fold this, rotate 90, and fold that back. Same thing on the other side. Rotate 180, fold down, rotate 90, and fold this back. Then grab this piece, push it down until it snaps into that section. Bring up the backpack and tab it in. Mine doesn't love tabbing in, but it's fine. And there's a port on the arm, and that is where we will put the shield. And once you do that, we got a pretty good looking Sentinel Prime here. He's fairly nice looking. Get a little closer on that head sculpt, which does look like a Transformers 1 head sculpt, all things said. But, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks like this will fit in with like Legacy and War for Cybertron stuff. There's not a lot here that wouldn't look out of place there, other than maybe the head sculpt. But I mean, it's a nice looking bot, and he does have ankle pivots. I do want to point that out. That was something I thought he didn't have, and I was like, oh, that's a little saddening, but he had ankle pivots, and I was like, okay, this has like everything I want it to have. Once again, let's do some size comparisons real quick. Here he is, of course, Machine Wars hoist. Here he is with deluxe class laser fire, and let's just bring in Road Ranger. So he's a little bit taller than a modern mini bot.
If you like my channel's content, support it with a Patreon subscription or channel membership, links below. Thank you.
Just in the camera a bit, let's talk articulation. His head is on a ball joint, but it's slightly limited, so it can look up, can turn left and right. His shoulders can go 180, they go out here. Bicep swivel, a little bit past 90 at the elbow, no wrist swivel. He does have a waist, which is nice, although it feels like it's sat slightly further back, but it does look nice. I like the way that this covers up the front there a little bit. It looks really organic, so I'm into that. He has ball joints at the hips, so they go forward, they go back, they go out a little bit. Oop, popped off there. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee. It looks like maybe if you could get more than 90. Yeah, you could totally get more than 90 if you futz it, but that wing gets in the way. And then his foot can tilt backwards a little bit, like if you really try it, but it has like these soft points. And then he does have a pretty decent ankle tilt right there. So, oh, yeah, we're going to talk about those too. So overall, pretty good. So the little thing that just fell off him was his wing gun, which you can take off and mount in his hand. So he has little blasters. That's pretty nice. So overall, accessory count, he has the shield, the 2 wing blasters, and the 2 shoulder cannons. So that comes out to a grand total of 5 accessories. For $19, for $19.99, this is pretty good. Like, this is solid, I think. This is normal deluxe, behavior over here, I think, aside from the ball jointed hips and the lack of wrists. But I mean, we have deluxes that don't have wrists or ankles and some other stuff, and this guy comes with a lot more accessories than a lot more deluxes. So, and like getting him posed up is pretty fun. I like how easy he is to pose. So, and you can get him in some really nice looking stances there. Again, his things are blast effect compatible, so those don't change. You can have him firing his shoulder lasers at bad guys here. He does lose his flight stand port. It looks like there's one right there, but I think that one's a little too big for the flight stand that I have, so he likes to swivel around on it. Oh, never mind. Nope, he's good. Woo! So, overall, pretty good figure. Like, if you see this guy, I would recommend him, especially if you're looking for a Sentinel Prime. Now, if you are thinking like, wow, he's really short, like he's way shorter than I want him to be, there is a Voyager class coming out in Studio Series at some point. According to some leaks, we are getting a Voyager class of this guy, which means that he probably does appear in the movie. If you really want to hold out for that, go for it. This, I think, works. I like this as like a young Sentinel Prime. He's the first of the non-mythic primes. He's just a transformer given the Matrix, and he's not really like amped up like Rodimus or Optimus. I'm kind of into just it being a dude, but at the same time, I understand some people want a big Voyager guy, and I'm kind of the same way. I would love a Voyager Sentinel, and I will probably get that one as well. But with that said, this is a great figure. YouTube thinks you'll like this video over here. Don't forget to check out my support links down below, and I'll see you in the next one. This has been Bots Obsession.